Don't trust HR. My performance review nearly killed me. I had just opened my laptop when the HR email landed in my inbox. Your performance review is scheduled to begin. Please present yourself to Office 3 tomorrow at 8 a.m. for the calibration procedure. Calibration. The word buzzed with possibility. This wasn't just any performance review. This was the review. The yearly one that would hopefully catapult me into a senior role. Operations, perhaps. The word alone felt far more exciting than the financial spreadsheets and SQL queries I'd spent the last year working on. And my boss was from operations, a realm of decisions and action I desperately wanted to join. Just as the clock ticked past 5, he appeared at my cubicle, a wide grin splitting his face. He leaned against the fabric wall. His weight shifted slightly due to the pronounced limp in his gait, a souvenir he'd once mentioned from a hiking accident that had cost part of his leg. "Well, well," he said, clapping me on the shoulder. "Big day tomorrow, huh? Don't let me down." I gave him a half smile, my gaze drawn to his company badge. An imposing black, so different from the sea of blue worn by us junior staff. I just wished I had one like that for myself. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. The big day came and I arrived early at Office 3. It was in a part of town I'd never been to, a somewhat isolated area near the port with not much else around. It struck me then, not for the first time, that despite the time at the job, I couldn't quite articulate what it was the company did. The specifics of our products were shrouded in secrecy. All we knew were the government contracts and sensitive technology. Security, I was told. Maybe with a promotion, the fog would finally lift. Stepping into the waiting room marked by a large HR sign, I was met by a stern-faced secretary who simply gestured for me to sit. 3 other employees were already present. One was Emma, a sweet young woman from IT. We'd exchanged polite nods in the hallways before. She offered me a bright smile, the first to break the tension in the room. An older man, probably in his late 50s with graying hair, sat silently nearby. I knew him from the accounting department. There was also a third person, someone I'd seen around the office but didn't know. An engineer, I believe. He kept to himself, looking around with a similar air of unease. A knot tightened in my stomach. Were we all competing for the same promotion? The email had been vague about the process. The secretary finally rose and motioned for us to follow. We navigated a series of dim corridors until we reached a wooden door. She opened it just enough for us to pass through and tersely instructed us to step in. A shared, confused glance passed between the 4 of us before we complied. The door shut behind with a thud. The room we entered was vast, the size of a tennis court. A metal framework dominated the space, and above us, harsh lights and a half-dozen cameras were fixed. Along the side, a panel of glass stood out. My eyes focused on the glass and I noticed something strange. On the other side, I could see my boss and other department managers I recognized. They sat in comfortable chairs, watching us. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. And my boss was the first to get up to approach a computer located near the glass. He took his black badge, swiped it somewhere, and picked up a microphone attached to the console. "This is a performance review and the calibration process for promotion to operations manager of the 2nd region. My position."